Good morning. I thought I'd talk about what I've discovered about and what's helped me about having a completely open head in ajna. So this is in the human design world. A lot of us, I forget the statistics, but like many of us will have an open head or ajna, but still have a gate here or there, right? And I have none, zero. So I have been told with kindness that I'm not intellectual, and that hurt for about a minute, and then I realized that that's not my thing. And then, but as well, I've heard the phrase like the ajna is a toilet, and stuff just goes around, 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 and that made a lot of sense for me. And especially my understanding these days is these gates are kind of things that give us logical grabbing points to help make sense of things. And because I have none of those things, there's nothing for me to grab onto. Now, the more I spend time in this, I think I would be considered on the spectrum and possibly become very good at, I don't know, negotiating ways or being clever about ways of masking it. I'm still exploring that, and I don't know that that's necessarily for real, but there's something there. But I think really what I want to say is a couple weeks ago I was talking to John from the Human Design Collective. All of a sudden I've lost his last name. But it was in a side chat, and I was just saying, like, what do I do? I got this open head ajna, just like my mind's swirling. What do I do with this? And he just said, like, you're here, your mind is here for your entertainment. Like, it's just like watching a movie play out in my life. And at the time, like, that rang so true right there in the moment. And the more I've leaned into just accepting that and enjoying this ride and just kind of give myself permission to be like, oh, that's just my mind thinking about things that don't matter, thinking about things for other people, and just asking that to be quiet. And there's lots of ways that I quiet that for me. Yoga Nidra, oh my goodness, so powerful. I use plant medicine, and I've built up a stack that is totally working for me every day now. Like, I take it like vitamins. Just general meditation, fresh air, releasing energy when I'm getting anxious. Like, there's all sorts of things. I won't go into all that here, but all that to say, open head and ajna, I thought this was actually something quite unique too, right? I thought it made me special too. And of course I'm special, and you're special, we're all special. But, I was talking to Jonah Dempsey the other day, and talking about, like, I've looked at a lot of body graphs, nothing like a lot of other people have, but I've looked at a few hundred now, and I hadn't seen any where there was a fully open head and ajna. And so I thought, oh, that must be pretty unique. Jonah did the math quickly, as he can, and it was like there's like 4 million of us. So apparently there's another 4 million people like me with an open head and ajna whose heads are just swimming, and can be quite open to conditioning from others, right? So I had these fixed beliefs due to conditioning, mom, dad, people well-intentioned wanting to, like, hey, this is how you should do this, or whatever. And I'm a 3-5, by the way, so those of you that are familiar with 3-5, I learned through trial and error, so I had a lot of, why would you do that? That's dumb, but it wounded me so deeply, right? And so I would just be like, well, they said do this, and I just bought in. And I did that up until about earlier this year. And my life is changing for the better all the time, because I've just learned that, holy cow, I was very black and white, I was very this or that, and actually I'm not any of those things. And it's so incredibly freeing being me, because I can just be curious about everything. Like, why are you saying that? Like, I just ask questions all the time, which can be very triggering for some people, because in my mind I'm just trying to understand more deeply and understand where they're coming from, but they'll see it as like I'm questioning their ability or questioning. So I'm learning to, like, navigate those waters. It's been an interesting trip. Actually, that's what John said too. Thinking isn't your trip, or something like that. And as soon as he said that, I was like, damn it, 50 years of getting it wrong. And now that I'm getting it right, I love my life. So, and I love where it's going. So, I'm sure I'm leaving something out there.